Why? So it must be around 7:30. So everybody gets seated and we will start our meeting. Dana, Nobel, welcome to the October 23rd meeting of the Rotary Club of Dana Island and proud member of District 7770. I'm Chip Law, and it's an honor and privilege to be this year's club president. This week, our guest speaker is Herve Torlotting. I'm sure you'll straighten it out when you get a Herve is a vice president and branch manager for the Mediterranean Shipping Group. He spoke to us several years ago, and we now know the importance of responsibility and change that's occurred in that industry is significant. So Herve is going to give us an update about what things are going on. He was also taking a very high level of interest in our Bikes for Africa program. In fact, he secured the container that would allow us to ship the first cargo load of flights. Thank you, Herve. And I'm sure we'll talk to him about that as well, because we're still in the process of trying to collect those bikes. Also, just one other thing, MSC has been for at least the last 7 to 10 years, I'm sure that exactly a sponsor of our duck race. So I appreciate that as well. Also today, we are going to present the duck grant for the Institute of Rules. This completes our goal for the named beneficiaries for this year's duck race fundraising. That's a total of $25,000 to our local community for causes that address those with the greatest need. But we've done a great job of Daniel and also have the district membership chair here. They will be the recipients of a couple of the certificates, and he will be presenting them to us as Kevin Crosby. Everybody's going to get a chance to introduce themselves in a book. Kevin, so this could be a takeover about right there for guests. Okay, would each of you stand and tell us from? Happy to have you over. Okay. We'll start with the Kevin Crosby, of the Pleasant brings up doing a recent transplant from Buffalo work. It was in Rotary for about 18 years. And I fight the district membership chair. I will be starting next year, but I'm on the district membership team. So. And well, I'm one of our newest members for our club. Part of our initiation process, which you may listen to, we include them to visit on the club. So for Balderson is I guess my guest here is for initiation.
Hi, I'm Freya Balderson. And like Kevin said, I'm a member of the Mount Pleasant Rotary, and I'm excited to be a part of a group that gives out to the community so much. I'm from Mount Pleasant, born and raised with a tiny town then. I'm grateful to be here.
Hi, everybody. I'm Channing Proctor. So I'm a member of the Downtown Charleston Lunch Club, along with my fellow member here, Sandy, who brought me into the club. And I'm also the vice president for the Bikes for Africa project. So I'm very excited to hear everybody's presentation.
And I'm Sandy Morkel, and member of the Downtown Club, past president, and also your district governor-elect. I'll be district governor next year. And I come with greetings from our Rotary International president. We had just got done with our leadership training summit in Pittsburgh. And so it was really amazing time. And we celebrated World Polio Day on October 24th in Pittsburgh, and with the son of Jonas Salk, who was the creator of the vaccine. Vaccine, thank you. So great. Anyone else? Here we go.
Oh, thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm Megan Banker. I'm here with George Roberts. I just joined the team at East Cooper Meals on Wheels. It's my third week, and I'm doing communications and events. So I'm looking forward to getting out into the community, meeting a lot of you, and talking more about that in the state.
In case you didn't get enough to eat this morning, today is National Nachos Day. So keep it in mind. No. Did anybody think to bring the cart bucket for a reasonable facsimile? Okay,
We have the cart
we're
cop.
gonna have to ramp up our efforts there later in this year. Updates. When we started this year, we wanted to take the impetus that we had when we redid our strategic plan last year in terms of how do we spend this money that we take in from the duck race every year. And so we formed a philanthropy committee. And one of the goals, or two of the goals for the philanthropy committee was to look prospects for potential beneficiaries, and also to look at different types of grants that we could provide when we got input from the members of the club. So far this year, we're into that process, and it's something that's been spearheaded by Mike, Tom Carroll, and Angela. So I'm going to just tell you about the things we've got going so far. One of them, I don't know if you're familiar with the nonprofit Camp Happy Days. Anybody? Yes? Okay, those are the club here. There's a segment of their charity that does work to assist USC pediatric oncology by providing activities and snacks for returning cancer patients who require either yearly or 5-year checks on their condition. They're there for an entire day, and no one else has really got the kind of things they might need to spend an entire day. So we'll be filling their backpack, not their backpacks, but their food bags, with volunteers. So that's an example. We've got a grant, and with that grant, we also get opportunities for our members to contribute to that effort. Secondly, this week or last week, we went to a nonprofit called Blissful Dreams. Anybody heard of that? Blissful Dreams it's a farm type setting, and they have, I think, 7 horses. And the whole mission is to work with disadvantaged, disabled kids to be able to give them a real life experience. And one of our members, John Granozio, suggested that we consider them for a grant. And we did. And so I guess it was late last week, we went out there and we also presented them with a $1,000 grant. During that process, we also talked about, is there a way for our club to possibly volunteer? And the answer was too many things that they could even think about, even aside from looking stalls. So, where's Dr. Bill? Dr. Bill Green? Okay, it's right in front of me. So we think there's going to be some decent opportunities for your Neil Banner, working with them. So we'll talk about that possibility in due course. Moving on, bikes for Africa. Whoa. Sorry about that.
This is
Okay. Bikes for Africa process is going on. Its popularity amongst our club is also extended out to the other clubs that are participating. And as you know, I have several members of that team that are here. I just want to let them know that the delivery point timing has changed to January 19th. And I would encourage you, especially as Christmas is coming along, to friends, neighbors, or whatever, they may be getting out bikes, and if they do that, there may be some bikes that they're wondering what they can do with. So keep that in mind, and please put in a plug for collecting our bikes. Just a reminder, we will be picking and delivering food for our Thanksgiving food drive on November 20th at 9:30. This activity will take place about an hour after our normal club meeting. Reason for that is it's also the same day that our district governor, Mary Gask, will be in attendance. Time for whatever she may have in mind post our original meeting. Now, I would like to present our final duck race recipient, Meals on Wheels, and would you come up? Like the cameraman.
Oh, right.
Is PI guy is CEO of Meals on Wheels. No conflict of interest with me. So Megan, you're, as I said, we were the last, the way most important people to receive a grant. This is for $5,000. This is for East Cooper Meal on Wheels to continue their focus on the Daniel Island and Caneway, and not only to provide, but also other services that the elderly, those that are in capacity, need during the course of a year. Megan, you have a couple of things you'd like to say?
I'd love to.
No more than 6 pages.
No. I'll cut it short. It really is a big deal, this gift. It is going to feed all of the people we serve in the Daniel Island, Caneway area, 1,400 meals. 1,400 meals. And not just the nourishment. Thank you. It's a lot. Not just the nourishment, the connection. I spent about 20 minutes with a mother of a 15-year-old son with autism who is out for the count because she broke her ankle unexpectedly. So it really is all kinds of people that we're serving in our community. The timing is especially wonderful. We're facing 2 big challenges going into 2025. More recipients, which is a great problem to have for any organization, but rising food costs, we expect those to continue. So this will go directly toward that. And we invite you to come see the impact of your investment. Come on a ride along with us Monday through Friday. You'll ride with one of our delivery drivers. We're 100% volunteer delivery driver team. It's about 90 minutes, and we'd love for you to come and see and meet some of those people that you're feeding. So thank you again. This means a lot.
Thank you. Kevin Crosby, would you like to come up and give the folks that are going a certificate for membership? So my first visit to your club, and I probably won't be my last visit. And this one I recognize Bill Green, who is advising us when we're initiating a global grant project to provide medical transportation in Malawi. And Bill and his wife, who was in our club, are part of that team. So anyway, under the leadership of Sandra Olson, our current district membership chair, we do several campaigns throughout the year to try to support clubs in membership growth. And Sandy came up with, I think, a really creative idea. And since August, from August through September, actually, we asked clubs to think about their strategies for recruiting new members and to submit those ideas. And each club had 4 separate people submitting ideas, which most clubs have 1. So congratulations on that. So I have certificates for each of those 4 people that I'm very honored to present. The first one is Michael Jordan. Is Michael Sewer? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The second one is to Marina Letter. She'll bring her up, so I go to that to Chip. And the third one is the Chip Law. So you don't have much of a walk to put this up. And then the fourth one is to Mary Jo Romeo, and I know she's not here today, so yeah. So we can first. Thank you. Thank you, Providence. Okay, it's very important thing that I forgot. And it's still not for late. Invitation on kids. Fine. So I'm telling. What's he doing? Well, there's never a bad time to say a prayer. So if we can bow our heads. And I will read this. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come together in the wake of this election, we pray for our community, for its leaders, and for every citizen. Whether in victory or disappointment, help us remember that our true strength lies in our unity and shared commitment to each other. Grant us the wisdom to see beyond divisions, to respect differing voices, and to remember the strength that comes from unity. We pray for healing in our communities. Where there are divisions, bring understanding. Where there is discord, sow peace. Let us be instruments of kindness, showing grace to one another as we work toward common good. Through our Lord Jesus Christ, your Son, who lives and reigns with you in the unity of the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all, born and unborn. Now it's time to hear from Herve. So, Steve, would you like to lead us? Huh?
Hi, good morning, everybody. As you know already, our speaker is Herve Torlotting, and he is he's the vice president and the branch manager for Mediterranean Shipping Corp here in Mount Pleasant. You knew all that already. He's spoken with us before. I think Chip mentioned that. It was about 7 years ago. And since then, he has been
Good morning, everyone. I have to sit here. I mean, I have to stand here. I usually walk a lot, so I'm gonna try to be disciplined and stay over here. Thank you for your invitation. It's I cannot believe that it was. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna be a bit like Taylor Swift here and start to dance. So thank you again. I cannot believe it. I was yes, actually 7 years ago. The time flies, and I hope that we will see the differences in 7 years what we have been able to accomplish as a group. And I see we did a lot in the last 7 years, and it will be probably reflected here. Steve asked about this story that I shared with you probably at the time. So I come from a town, a little town in France, and that was devastated during World War II. And my parents actually were both from this town. They know each other since they were 3 or 4 years old, and they're still together. They are 82 years old, so really a long story together. And so everything was devastated. People were very poor. And the first help that came to this town came actually from Kansas, from a town named Morganville in Kansas. What they did is they did a lot of actions and a show and things like this to collect some funds. And they sent all this help to this town, and my parents benefited directly from all these charities and all these efforts from these people from this very small town actually in Kansas. So when I think about the US, I always think about that the generosity and people that are actually getting together and seeing together this morning and working on all these things. Again, it's the USA, I believe, that we want to see in the world, and the USA that actually leading the world in a good way. So thank you for everything that you are doing. Just very fast on the container, we're super happy to help with this initiative. We're very excited to hear about this very concrete, tangible action, and we will supply this container and maybe do a bit better even with our people in the office here in Mount Pleasant. So the MSC group over again the last 7 years. For you, in Banana Island, in Mount Pleasant, you see the MSC containers. These yellow boxes on the highway when you back and forth in Mount Pleasant. But there is much more than that. MSC is actually a lot of different things, which is interesting. Like our competitors, we are really working on a lot of different aspects, a lot of branches and arms of the group. What makes us a bit different is that we are still private. It's a company that actually now counts 200,000 people in the world. And you will see a lot of arms, but there is a family at the top of this company, and the Aponte family. Mr. Aponte is 84 years old. He still goes every day to the office, works even on weekends, and he brought in the company his kids. He started with one little second-hand vessel in 1970, and now we are number one in the world in many different aspects. So again, he built an empire from nothing, and we are all it's definitely someone that we are very proud to work for. So the group counts many different arms, and I think that when I was here last time, the fact is that the group has been investing massively in different operations. We do a cargo, which we didn't do before. The cruise division actually expanded in a very, very exponentially, let's say. It was when the railroad in Italy, tugboats and things like this. So again, we are touching the logistics and from the ports division, like you will see, to the different logistics platform that we're operating as well. So yes, we are number one when it comes to the cargo division, and our market share is 19.9%. That is the last number that have been published. And then you see all the competitors, which are the Nurse Group, CMA, Costco. We are competing with some public companies as well as state-owned companies. The Chinese companies are actually state-owned, and these are our competitors. And you can see as well the total number of ships that we are operating and the number of ships that we have as well on order. So we are continuing actually to expand and to be able to serve in the best possible way all the markets in the world. So this is our growth. You can see that from 2000 to 2024, again, we purchased a lot of ships and we expanded our operation really worldwide. TEUs is 20 equivalent units. And this is these boxes that you see on the highway. The smallest one, we have 20 footers. And we count everything in TEUs. A contract that is signed, the size of the vessel, or even the number of containers that are being handled in a port. Everything is in TEUs. So these are the different industries that we serve. Anything that can fit in a container, we actually move. And it goes from manufactured product to agriculture, automotive. We are importing a lot of parts here for the different car makers, and all these parts, they are going to Spartanburg area, and then they build the balloons over there and range them back here, and they are everywhere in the world. So that's really globalization at this best. When I moved here to Charleston, I saw the terminal in Charleston downtown, and saw all these BMWs, and I said, okay, where are these BMWs going? And I thought that it was going to serve the American market, but no, all these X5, X3 that you can see part over there, actually, they are going everywhere in the world. So if you drive an X5 in Germany, it's being built in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And again, it's for me very fascinating to see the impact that we are having as an industry on the world. So again, everything that you can think about, we move it. These are some of our customers that we are serving in the US. So again, everything from the car industry to retail to as well some intermediaries. We're working with some companies like Kronenagel, Expeditors. These are intermediaries that are working with some smaller shippers or even large shippers, but that are handling the logistics for them. And we, as far as vendors, these are all the vendors, all the ports we are dealing with, and all the vendors that are serving us as an industry. So in the US, we are contributing to 25,000 direct jobs. Again, over 200,000. And here, actually, we have different offices in the US. The latest one that we opened was in Tempe. So now, actually this year, where we're going to be able to expand to around 170 people in order to cover for the West Coast. First, we opened the last branch over there. We serve 21 ports, 31 terminals. And again, we are present in 155 countries. So there are very few places in the world that we don't serve. Most of the time is because there are some restrictions for compliance issue. We cannot, for example, ship to some specific countries in the world. And of course, we are following the rules. But otherwise, there are very few places where we cannot ship containers. These are the different let's say charities and foundation that we are serving. With Operation Smile. This is Operation Smile is definitely the one that we've been supporting the most the years. So we organize golf tournaments and things like this, and we are even sending people to different countries in the world in order to work on missions. They are for I think it's $400. You can change the life of a kid actually that is born with a cleft palate. These kids cannot nourish themselves. They cannot speak. They are most of the time ostracized as well. They are put on the side in the different villages or places where they work. So these surgeries are very essential. Again, very cheap. $300. You can really change the life of a kid. The surgeons are all voluntary. They go over there for a couple of weeks and they give their time and they are again changing a lot of lives. These are all the orders that we are supporting, but again, operations file is definitely the largest one. And we are happy to help you guys with the bike project. We will definitely try to make it count as well. So on the logistics side, I was mentioning to you a bit earlier that we expanded here. What I tried is to just show you a couple of pages for big areas of what we do. We operate some trucking companies. So what we're trying is to do a to service from door to door, and that's why we invested in logistics, and we purchased some trucking companies in order to do that. We do a bit organically, and we as well purchased some commodities in some areas in the world as well as railroad. We invested as well in some railroads. In the US, this is the latest market that we are touching with Medley, but we believe that within a couple of years, the Medley brand in the US will be probably the first market that we're touching. And we are opening a cold warehouse in Savannah, a very, very nice warehouse. Latest technology with blast freezing and things like this, huge investment. But again, in the US, it is definitely worth doing it, and there will be also a good return on investment. So, different warehouse and the platform that we are opening again. On the terminal business, we operate 70 terminals in the world. So, either in partnership, we own the entire terminal. So, we are active in 31 countries across the five continents. Here in the US, you can see we have some interest in some terminals. Either again, we are some partners. So for the moment, nothing in Charleston, but maybe one day it will happen as in Charleston. Air cargo, it's one of our latest venture. So as we start with one, assets, and so now we started this year ago, and we just purchased our fifth airplane. These airplanes are moving every day and are full. It was our customers who are actually asking for that in order to complement what we will be doing on the water. So this is our latest investment. I can tell you that when I saw that, I was like a kid. I really love the fact that we are now expanding a bit in that area. And I was literally like a kid, believe me, the day that I saw the first airplane. The cruise business, so here in the US, it's of course very big. We call Port Canaveral as well as Miami. And our brand is keep expanding. I think that we are now number 2 or 3 in the world, behind all the big brands that, of course, you need. But we have a huge expansion plan in the cruise business, and this is the World Europa, which is very special. You can see the design of this vessel. We have 4 like this that are coming, and one of them will be in the World America, and it will be actually a restaurant in Miami next year, at the same time as our new office in Miami as well, which I will mention a bit later. So again, it's a lot of investment. Each of those is close to 1.2, 1.3 billion dollars. So it's something that takes a lot of capex, but definitely a good business for us as well. Just I want to mention that here in Mount Pleasant, we do cargo. I mean, we do a bit of the logistics, but the cruise business, we don't touch it here. It's done in Florida, where we have the office for MSC Cruise. We also created we have a new brand, which is Europa, which is coming up as well. So MSC Mount Pleasant, I moved to Mount Pleasant 10 years ago. I was mentioning to some of you that I'm very happy to be here. It's a nice place to be. I moved for 8 years in Houston before, and in 12 years this is where I started with MSC. So it's, I mean, I'm not happy to be here. Let's say it's a very good place for the family, for everything, and I'm sure that you can relate to that. And the Montauban is very important. It's not the largest port, but it is a place where it's easy to do business. And this is why we expanded the office like this. Nowadays, you can manage your office, your activities from anywhere. It doesn't mean that you need to be near the biggest port. A lot of the functions that we are handling in Mont Pleasant, they're actually corporate. We are managing ports on the west coast from Mont Pleasant. So it doesn't matter where you are. What matters is it easy to do business or not in the area where you are? And in Mont Pleasant, it is. The state, when we came over here, worked very hard to make it very attractive for us. We invested a lot and we continue to invest. And as well, what was important was is the source of talent. So we can find good talent here and in the area as well. What we were able to observe is in the last 10 years that been is that actually people are moving from everywhere in the US. Initially, when I moved, we were hiring kids from the College of Charleston, Clemson, USC. But nowadays, we especially started with the pandemic. We have people from the West Coast that are moving over here, and people are actually moving, and they are looking for something different, and we are very attractive. So again, it's for us, it's interesting. What is important is okay, the ease of doing business, but it's also the talent because the job market in the US is very competitive. People are saying it's a beautiful job market with less than 4% unemployment, but in the world, people would dream, some countries would dream to have 4% or unemployment. It's considered as full employment everywhere. So whatever has been said over and over, I mean, again, actually lucky here, and it's a very good job market. And for us, employers, and I'm sure that you guys are seeing this in your areas as well, we need to be very competitive to retain the talent, to attract and then retain the talent. So these are the different things that we did over the last few years in the US. We got to continue our expansion. We started in Chicago by renovating the office, and then we went to New York, to Houston, where we as well renovated and made the place more attractive for our employees. Then New York and Baltimore. New Orleans and Costa Mesa in California. Finally, 23-24, what we did in Charleston, so it's Mount Pleasant, we are in Mount Pleasant, Boulevard. We renovated the office where we have been. This office, we have been there for the last 12 years, and we need a bit of refreshment. Let's say, I don't know if I can say refreshment, but revamping, because again, it was really, it was not as nice as this. So we did that. What we did is we continued to work in the office, the rotation, before being renovated. We were downstairs, and again, people can work from home. So we did that it took a while, but we did all of this in parallel, let's say. And in this office, we can accommodate 394 people. So we are now at more than 500 people. So we continue to do this renovation. Then in 24, we opened as well Tempe in Arizona. So and we just finished last month the Boston office, and finally 2025 we are buying another floor in New York, around Fifth Avenue in New York, and we are at Miami as well. Miami is a huge project. Where we will have actually a consolidation, we will have cargo and cruise together on the same roof, which is pretty new. Now, in June, we had the groundbreaking ceremony. We had a global that came over. We had, of course, the executive from the US that came to celebrate this, because we are building another facility on a property. So this facility is necessary because we don't have enough desks anymore. Plus, it's a very good investment. We feel that investing here in the area is good for MSC as well, and we believe in the commercial buildings still, despite the fact that in many areas the buildings are empty. it's going to be owner occupied, and we need all this space and make it actually our HQ2. So it was a very nice day to celebrate, and we're very happy again to invest here more than $20 million to build this facility on our property. So this is how it's going to look. Right now on the right, what you see on the right is the existing building. So in front of the property, we will build this new facility. The existing building is 34,000 square feet. This one's going to be smaller. It's going to be 27,000 square feet. It's going to be a bit more bigger. And we have as well, we're trying to make it really a nice setup, let's say, with this pergola that will unify and make it a nice campus for everybody. So this is how it's going to work. HQ2 means that some of the corporate function, we already have them here. I'm handling actually the branches that I mentioned. My job is to handle the branches that I was just mentioning before. So when I moved here, I was branch manager for Mount Pleasant, and now I'm in charge of all the offices that you mentioned that I was explaining to you. But we also have another corporate function, which is for the operation, the vessel operation, is here as well in Mount Pleasant. And we are starting to bring a bit more corporate functions. I mean, I cannot bring the guys when you see living in New York. I did it, and it's definitely much more pleasant to be here. So there will be more corporate function coming over here. From actually Charleston, I added this slide just for you to see a little bit what are our top 10 customers in Charleston. And you can see that BMW, Chevrolet, so you can see on the left, that these are the major companies that we are serving in Charleston, and we control 25% market share here in Charleston. And that's the expert. And then on the other side, our largest customer is Cunedator, which is an intermediary to big company that they are worldwide and are again intermediary. Think about them like a travel agency for logistics, basically. They are. And then Walmart, Mercedes-Benz, etc. So these are the different companies, and we control on the import side 17% market share. So that's the end of the presentation. I didn't want to make it too long, and Steve was mentioning that I'm on time. I'm good. Yeah. Okay. So if you have any question, I'd be happy to answer to those questions.
No. I'm actually loudly. Okay, so presentation. Zoom. Couple of questions here, two parts. One is, this is an interesting company in the sense that it's kind of in I wouldn't say a non-exciting field, but it's a very important field. And MSC has expanded exponentially and been very aggressive in their growth across air transport. I took a lot of notes here. Air transportation, trucking, etc. What's the one thing, well, it's several things, but what's the one thing in your mind that's made this expansion growth possible? It's the first part of the question. Second part is, what challenges do you see over the next few years, 2 to 5 years? Okay.
So first of all, we need money in order to invest, and we had some very good years. In the last 4 or 5 years, we had some very, very good years that actually allowed us to invest. This company being private, we don't have shareholders. We need to pay dividends to on a yearly basis. And again, our representatives, believe me, they are it helps because all the capital are really reinvested, and this made it us. That has been done for us so far. Lately, I would say that in the last 4 years, we made some major acquisitions, but it was not the case before. So we were starting slow, and we were testing the market and then going one by one. This is how it happened. We started with 1 or 2 ships, and over the last 20 years, they became in their field. So this has been a key and an ingredient in our business. And And you can see them. I see I've been again more than 25 years, but there are a lot of people that have been with the company a long time. We are a family company with some values that I believe are very, very important. At the end, we run a business. We are not a charity. We need as well to work and work hard. But it's a big difference, I believe, and this was very important. Now, the challenge is the next step, I believe, is to continue and reinforce and all these different branches and things that you can see. So I believe that everything we will do is always connected to logistics. Some of our competitors, they go and they start to buy newspapers and TV stations and things like this. Unless, again, tomorrow maybe because sometimes I think that they're published and I didn't even know the day before. So, but I believe that we are really focused on what we do and that we will continue to reinforce our positions in those fields. The challenge is, I mean, your guess is as fine. I don't have a crystal ball, but what I know is that, for example, right away now, what we probably can anticipate is that we're going to see a lot of import coming to the US in the next 2-3 months in order to import as much as possible before some of the tariffs are actually implemented. And so this will probably be something that we will see very, very fast. To avoid again the tariff, and that will mean that if those tariffs are put in place next year, what will happen is that it will probably we will see a decrease in export because some other countries will probably retaliate and impose some tariffs as well. So what will happen is a balance in the flows. The markets and the exchanges, they will stay here. The world is here to grow. We look at the GDP growth in the last 50 years. You can see that in average it grew by 3% worldwide. You have some countries where it's going to be 8, the developing countries, and some areas where it's going to be 3 or 2. But again, the average is 3% per year. So it's going to continue like this. Sometimes you're going to have years where it will be a bit lower, but again, we look at the average and we look at the long term. And what we do is directly linked to the GDP. You have a GDP to TE multiplier, and you can see that each time the GDP grows by 1 point, the commerce grows as well by a certain amount. There is so again, we will continue to this field will continue to grow. Just that probably the flow of cargo will switch from one place to the other. People will source their goods from other places if their previous if the countries where they were sourcing before the goods impose tariffs or things like this, or make it more difficult to do business with.
This is a follow-up to sort of what you were just saying, but I keep thinking about like the Red Sea and the Houthis and all of that. And to what extent has MSC kind of avoided that area, or are you still going through it? Same kind of thing, I guess, with the Panama Canal, with the drought. It slowed things down. Clearly, you've had to make adjustments with this. To what extent, I guess, is it hurt the business? And the second question about your father, again, didn't you go back? You mentioned last time that a little small town in France formed a little relationship, sister relationship with that town in Kansas. What do you do as a address?
Yeah, it's
that impressed me last.
Actually, yes, we went there, and I went the first time with my father and my mother. We went there probably 6-7 years ago, and they did something very nice. Is that they did a review, and we met some people that had contributed to helping this French town. They were still alive, and they were super. It was like never met these people, but always heard about them, and it was very emotional. I can tell you that I could not believe how touched I was to see my parents meeting these people and things. So yes, this happened, and an entire delegation from the town went over there. And there was a book that actually came out because everything started from a journalist. I was it's a long story, and I'm sorry I hope you have time. But basically, everything started because this journalist gave an assignment to to her, a student, about something that happened related to that, and they found this action, and they started to investigate. I was in France during the summer, and my father at the time was on the city council, and they received this email that they asked me to translate because it was in English, and this email was looking for people that remember that thing, and so they gave it to me, and it happened that my great uncle was the one who organized the distribution and everything. So, and that's how we started. And my father was very excited, and he told me contact them immediately, and as soon as we can, we go. And basically, maybe a year after, we were there, and we started that thing. So that was actually written, was translated as well. That talks about this entire. I'll send you the title of the book if you are interested. Yeah. The Red Sea, we still have to avoid because it's very dangerous over there, and we're going around the Horn of Africa, and that means that there is now really, in terms of capacity, it affected a lot the capacity on the road, because it means that instead of doing a trip in 20 days, you do it in 30. That means you need more vessels, and that means that supply and demand is affected by that.
Great presentation. Thank you. If I understand the labor negotiations, they settled the money side of the wages, but they didn't settle the automation side. And you can see YouTube videos, for example, that show ports maybe in China, maybe Southeast, where they're just total automation. What's going to happen with automation here in Charleston at our ports?
It's same as before. My guess, your guess is as good as mine. I don't know. The fact is that it's a very difficult topic because, of course, there are a lot of jobs out there. There are a lot of rhetoric as well, and you probably followed a bit what was said on both sides in this thing. The fact is that we are the United States of America, and we are one of the countries where the productivity is the highest in the world. Because again, we are 24 containers per hour in the US, then port that you can that you know in China or it's probably around 40 moves, but in China they can reach 60 moves. That means the vessels are doing half time. That means that there's a lot of things, less accidents. You don't have people that are driving. This is one of the most dangerous jobs to be there. So when you look at some of the terminals in China, it's all automated. You have like trucks without any driver that are picking up the containers. It's really another world. So something has to be done because it's definitely a slowdown to progress. And I believe that the United States should show it could, because there are a lot of means, a lot of has to do better when it comes to that, to protect the workers and as well to be more productive. Charleston, I have no idea what will happen. What happens is going to take years because we are really, in 10 years. These countries. So it's going to take a lot of time to now to catch up. But it's a shame. And even the vessels that you saw maybe on some of the pictures, they are now 400 meters carrying 23,000 of these containers. In the US, they cannot come because the ports are not equipped. The trains are not large enough, the channels are not dredged enough, and they go everywhere. They go to Asia, they go to Middle East, they go to Europe, but they cannot come to the US. Or if they come over here, with just few terminals, we have to pick up some empties to reposition them in Asia because they are light and they can go on the good. I mean, it's really something that is incredible. So definitely, again, there is a lot of business here. At one point, something has to give. So we have to adapt in order to be able to manage all this business because otherwise it's going to be difficult even for the American people. It's again, the world continues to consume more. That means that we have to adapt the logistics to it as well.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation. Could you comment on future prospects for the cruise industry in Charleston?
So far there was no announcement that we would come to Charleston. The latest that we announced is that we're going to call Houston. The problem with Charleston is beautiful, and of course I think it will be a thing for me. I do believe that it will be a nice tour. On the other hand, the market around is not big enough to come with these very large vessels that we are operating. If you call, I live in Houston, so I can say Houston is not a nice city at all. If you compare to Charleston, right? What do you have to do in Houston? You're going to go see the NASA and which is nice, but again, it's not on the other hand. You have around there, maybe a couple of hours ago from the direction, you have 7-8 million people that can actually get on the ships and go to the Caribbean or to Mexico. So it's all as well supply and demand. If you came away and there's nobody getting on the ship, it's going to be a bit. It's not going to be a very good operation, let's say. But otherwise, yes, I see that we still have carnival crews that is coming, and this kind of people are not all happy to see the vessels coming in. So just picture that you see the issue with these vessels. Ours are probably 2 to 3 times larger, so it's even 2 to 3 times more problems, right? So this is what I can tell you about crews. Sure. Thank you, brother. Welcome. Thank you so much. That was quite well informed and timely. As a token of appreciation, I present this to you, which represents a few things from the Charleston area. I think you'll enjoy them. Thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you very much. What's to come in the next few weeks? Next week is our speaker series. The North Charleston Mayor, R.J. Burgess, is going to be here. He's quite the speaker. We already saw him once at the club. And this will make an interesting contrast between having Pavlo as well as Reggie tell us about how they go about doing whatever it is, because North Charleston is going to be a hotbed of activities affecting the rest of all of our areas. And I think that people that are going to see what they're going to do will be a very interesting time for your community. I want to thank Steve and Greg for doing an incredible job of recruiting an audience for this, where we sold out 5 days, 6 days. We're full capacity for this. So we apologize to those that may have been a little lax in terms of responding, but it should be an incredible week. There will be no meeting here the 13th. So please, if you should sign up, come to see Reggie. On the 27th, we will not be meeting because it's Thanksgiving week. And on December 4th, we will be having an assembly meeting where Romager is going to take us through the annual Rotary Fund, the National Fund. And in the evening, we have our Christmas party behind the Rotary Hall. So everybody gets there? Okay. So, yeah. One last thing, I think I already mentioned this, but on the 20th, we have the food drive. We need to pack the food starting at 9:30 at Publix on the 20th, right after Mary Gask's visit to us. Ryan. I thought that was already filled up, so I'm sure the food will be great. So to close our meeting, we'd like to have the manager take us through the following tests.
Thanks, Chip. Please join me in our four-way test of all the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Thank you for coming today. Meeting's concluded.